Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock by request, where it's a review of the movie Beyond the Seventh Door. And this one comes to us from fellow YouTuber Dustin Keckler, which I find kind of odd because this is not really a horror movie, but he sent it anyway, and he said it was bad. He was right. It was pretty bad. The story is about a man who finally gets out of prison. He's released from prison. He doesn't escape. Named Boris. He meets up with his ex-girlfriend Wendy. The reason why Boris went to prison in the first place is because of a botched robbery. So he meets up with his ex-girlfriend, and they start talking at this diner, restaurant, someplace like that, about him possibly trying to make up for his botched robbery that happened. And Wendy reveals that she works for this guy who's pretty much paralyzed from the waist down, and he has a lot of money and all this. So Boris and Wendy, I'm going to try my best not to say Natasha. Some of you might get that joke. Boris and Wendy wind up going through the entire house, going through different rooms of torture that they somehow are able to escape death at every turn. So Boris and Wendy wind up getting to the final room where there's a briefcase full of money, and Boris decides, well, you know what, I'm just going to take a couple of stacks and we're going to get on out of here. But then he decides, no, I'm going to go back and try and take everything out of the suitcase. Although earlier he looked under the table and saw there was a wire attached and started blowing on something that looked like it could have been sawdust and saw some sort of device. But, well, I guess if you're that bad wanting money, you just kind of go blind for a minute. And well, anyway, he winds up going back down to the room, gets all the money out of the suitcase. When he lifts up that final stack of money, he blows up. Apparently he had some sort of bomb device to it. And then we later on find out that Wendy and the man she's living with, taking care of, and I guess is with, turns out that they set the whole thing up. And then Wendy calls up what seems to be another ex-boyfriend of hers to set up something else to happen once again. So why did this movie suck? Well, I can put it to you this way. Boris. Even though it didn't seem like he spoke a lick English, well, he was pretty much sort of like Tommy Wiseau, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. You know, the guy from The Room. Yeah, it was kind of like him and Lou Diamond Phillips had a kid. Except in this case, this movie was just really god-awful and funny at times, too. Very, very funny at times. And annoying. I mean, his acting was annoying, but God bless him anyway. He did try, but here's something that could be a little bit less annoying. Yeah. Door sounds. That's pretty much them going through doors, except the doors slid and there were spikes in the ceilings and everything like that. And at one point they get to a room where there's a dead guy in there and he's holding a screwdriver, and the room filled up with water. Yeah, this movie was just terribly bad. You could pretty much see the so-called twist ending coming a mile away. Yeah, and this movie was just really, really boring, really, really bad. And again, the guy playing Boris, he's sort of like the late 80s version of Tommy Wiseau. I'm not sure. The guy who did The Room. That's about all I can tell you at this point. So, yeah, the movie was not really a horror movie. It was just sort of suspense, but still boring and still bad at the same time. Laughable, predictable, just all around really, really bad. So, yeah. So try to avoid this movie at all costs if you can, but if you have seen it and you'd like to share your thoughts on the movie, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, fantasy horror movie that made you feel like you were going through one too many doors just to get away from it, send it my way and I'll get on it ASAP. Thanks so very, very, very much to you guys for watching, and thanks so much to Dustin Keckler for his request. Please go check out his channel and his videos and subscribe to him if you like. And wow, this movie was a real piece of crap. Again, you see the title and you think to yourself, oh, this is going to be a horror movie, and it just turns out like, no, they're just going through a bunch of different rooms just to try and get money, and twist ending you see coming a mile away. So yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh, wow. So there you guys have it, my review of Beyond the Seventh Door. Oh, wow, was this one bad. Thanks for watching, you guys, and until next time, for Doc Schlock, by request, as always, stay strong and rock on.